It's 7:40. Let's do this. Good evening, Hampton Roads. Good evening, Northeast North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of WTKR News 3 Television, and you are watching First Warning Live, sponsored by Marco's Pizza. We're giving away free pizza this week, starting as early as tomorrow. But I get ahead of myself. We're talking about the comfort level that's going on here. You know the comfort level? You know when you go outside, it feels like, I don't know, October? Maybe it's like late September. Well, that keeps on increasing. That's one of the benefits of having dew points fall back into the 40s and 50s today. Remarkable, remarkable. By the way, I got to talk about this real quick. Got to mention, this is the weather headlines. There were fewer people on the beach, on the oceanfront today, maybe because school's back in session. But if you are getting a jump start, if you're getting a jump start on the holiday weekend, may I suggest to you, it's going to be comfortable again tomorrow. Highs near 81. We hit 78 today. Well, what were you calling for? 78? Okay, so I'm expecting 81 tomorrow, so I just want to build some credibility with you, but mainly dry, slim chances to end the week. And then Labor Day weekend, watching a coastal low slowly form. More on that in a moment. But wait a second, I'm getting a call. This is kind of unusual. I'm getting a call. I believe I have a call here. Let me see if I can bring him in. Oh, it is. It's him. It's here. He's here.
Hang on. I think I'm winning free pizza. I think I'm winning free pizza. Hang on a second.
Oh, hold on a second. Is this WTKR Sports Director Mark Davis?
It is, and I heard this is the spot I come to win some free pizza, David. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. Well, you're getting ahead of ourselves. We're giving away free pizza tomorrow, but we do have a special deal. I mentioned that we have this lunch combo that I took advantage of today. One topping, small pizza. You got to throw in the 20-ounce drink. I tried it without the drink. You got to use the promo code WTKR lunch. But you got way ahead of me there, Mark Davis. But you want to make sure you get one of the 5 options: a Pizzoli, pizza bowl, regular size salad, or 6-inch sub. So all kidding aside, that is actually what we're giving away. And we're also giving away, I should say, a pizza certificate for free pizza for a year. All you have to do is go to our webpage, WTKR.com/Marcos. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get back to you, because you're only my second guest. I only had the director of the National Hurricane Center on like a week ago. Now you're here, but you got something special, because it feels like football in the air, my friend.
Mm-hmm. It feels like football weather, David, and we are jazzed up because this is our coverage starts, right, for football. We got college, we got high school, and we're premiering and debuting a brand new segment called No Limit Sports Live, and that's going to air every Friday night after our Friday Night Red Zone football show. At 11:30, we're going to hop right here on Facebook Live, on the News 3 Facebook Live page, and we're going to let the fans kind of drive the conversation. They're going to tell us what they want to talk about, what schools, what teams, what players. So it's going to be a lot of fun. The guys from Sports Plug 757 are going to come in and join me, and we are fired up. We're following your lead, man. You've really hit the nail on the head here with the streaming and making everybody are having everybody involved. So we're excited to kind of follow the path here.
Well, I know this comment was left last night, but Luke was a bit confused. He thought it was supposed to be hot today when he said hot tomorrow, but then he changed his tune. He said, I think it's going to be cold tomorrow. I think your show, No Limit Sports, is going to be hot. Am I right? I mean,
I hope so. We're going to do our best to bring all the hot content, no doubt at all. And what's cool about it, David, is that, I remember when I was a kid, staying up and waiting for the 11 o'clock show to air so I could see the highlights in the games in my school and everything like that. This lets people just hang on for a little bit more. We keep the conversation going right after that football show, and we let the fans drive the conversation. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be an awesome time, and hopefully if you guys are high school football fans out there, you guys will dial on up and be part of it too. We'd love to have you.
Absolutely. And I got a note here from, looks like Denmark has a question. He says, how soon are these leaves going to be falling? He's loving this weather. When you've got football weather, in all seriousness, you have got Michael Vick, right? That's tomorrow night, the big game with the Spartans.
Yeah, speaking of hot, right? I mean, that's going to be the hot ticket in town is Michael Vick's Norfolk State debut against Towson tomorrow night at 7. And it all starts 10 a.m. when First Take from ESPN is going to be here. Stephen A. Smith will be over at Eccles Hall. So they're hoping to pack the house for that and then carry that energy through until Michael Vick's first head coaching game. That's at 7 o'clock. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully we got good weather for that one, David.
I believe we're going to have great weather. Now, I know you're a Commanders fan. I'm an Eagles fan. So Michael Vick, I still have my Madden EAA Sports. Michael Vick was still the quarterback of that game that I still have from the Wii. Too many people don't. What's the we? It's like an artifact. It's an old fossil tool. But anyway, I got to get to the weather, but I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're going to have a special promotion here on Friday, but we're all going to be watching, and you got great football weather to boot.
Hey, I really appreciate having me, David. You're killing it here. You're doing a great job, and I love. I know I'm close to the viewing area for your podcast, so I get to see that every night.
Awesome. Well, my friend, we'll talk soon, and we'll see you at 11 o'clock tonight because we're on the TV side, WTKR. But it's great to see you, my friend.
That sounds great. Thanks, David.
Yep, no problem. All right, so we got to get back to the weather. Special thanks to Mark Davis for spending some time with us tonight. But this mainly dry weather is going to prevail. And then we talked about Labor Day weekend. A coastal low forms very slowly. But if you're not feeling it like on your A game, it could be the fact that pollen is rather high Thursday and Friday. It was high today, so that headache behind the eye, wheezing and sneezing, it comes natural for many of us. Given this time of year, it usually peaks. Around, say, Labor Day, but then you don't usually get much relief until the first frost, and that could sometimes come in October or even later into November. It just depends on the coolness. But there's some cool air coming this way. Take a look at these numbers. These represent the 7 p.m. numbers at 75 in Norfolk, 74 in Hampton. Newport News is at 74. I mean, that's pretty cool. We got Chesapeake at 73, Virginia Beach at 73. Our friends in Pocosin right now are at 73 degrees. Very, very comfortable. And they're even in the 60s. Ahoske's at 67. I'm telling you what, this is like a page out of the autumn playbook. I'm sure Denmark would love it. Kim Thompson-Jones probably loves it. There's probably a lot of you that love some of this cool weather, no doubt. Denmark is following up with a note here. He says, very cool, guys. Can't wait for the sports show. It's a great adjunct because people love their weather and sports, and sometimes a format like this can make it much more engaging. So we're very happy all this is coming together. By the way, current conditions, we got lots of clear skies. There may be a few partly scattered clouds there at Kitty Hawk. These represent the 7 p.m. METARs for those weather nerds like me out there, where we get airport observations at the top of every hour. That's what that represents. But it's pretty quiet. The satellite radar not showing much. We have a little trough moving through New Jersey, but it's really big bubble, no trouble. It's quiet weather for the Ohio Valley, Kentucky, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and North Carolina. Even Tennessee has a few high clouds. But I want to invite you back, and I say back because some of you were scared off by the swing and a miss Hurricane Aaron. Aaron was not a direct hit, but it did have some impact. About 80,000 people, I was reading today from the emergency manager in Dare County. They had 80,000 people evacuate, maybe not necessarily through the ferry, but they drove and got out of the way. There was some damage. There was clearly some damage. But the rip current risk had been high, if not moderate to high, the last couple of days. Tomorrow, that changes. It's down to about 2 feet first serve height. Low rip current risk. It's not a zero risk, but it's lower. And temperatures around 81. It's a slice of nice. 5 to 15 mile an hour winds, not bad at all. And what you can do if you're ever caught, we mentioned this a lot of times, but some people don't always put the 2 and 2 together. Just don't fight it. If you feel like you're being sucked out like a vacuum cleaner, maybe just let it pull you out a little bit. Swim parallel to the shore to escape. And if you can't, certainly you can float. Best chance is if you float or tread water, and if all else fails, wave and call for help, because usually there should be a lifeguard watching if you're in one of those lifeguarded areas. If you're in an area that doesn't have lifeguards, you're taking some risks that may be unnecessary. By the way, Fernan is trying to spin out there. Can you tell which one's Fernan? Of course you can. It's this one with the distinct little circular motion here in the northern Atlantic. Well, this is about the last we're going to see Fernan, because he's likely to become, this storm should become post-tropical as early as tomorrow, that coming by way of the National Hurricane Center. And you can see there's not much track left on it as it becomes more of a remnant low going out to sea by Thursday afternoon. So we can cross off Fernan and put Gabrielle on the on-deck circle, baseball fans, followed by Umberto, followed by Imelda, and then Jerry. A big shout out to Jerry because that's the name of my father. We'll see what happens if he's a big storm or just maybe not so big. We'll see. By the way, the forecasting timeline, a lot of people like to know when storms form, how long is it going to take to get here? Well, if it develops out here in the Atlantic, it usually takes a week or more, about 6 or 7 days in green, 4 to 5 days in yellow. And if it's in the red zone, less than 2 days before it has impact, and that's when people tend to panic or get into a hurry for preparation. That's why it's best to be prepared before the season starts so that you have a plan in place. Always a good idea to do that. Now we know we're knocking on the door to September. September 10th is usually the peak time when we typically see our hurricane development in the Atlantic. Of course, July was very hot and humid. It was a twofer. We had 12 90-degree days, but these days were very, very hot. In fact, I believe it was if I'm not mistaken, yes, it was 99 on June 26th. That was the hottest day of the year. Don't think we're going to get back to 99 this year. We're pretty much going into August, now going into September. But it is interesting to note we've had some of our hottest days in June in the previous year. So this July, of course, was hot. We had a couple of 95s. We had a 96, looks like in the first week. So some of those hot days are now in the rear view mirror. Today's high hit 78 degrees. As mentioned, that's what I was calling for. 78, that puts us, what's that? That's the coolest day in 20 days. You got to go back to the 7th of August when it was 77. But this was, in fact, the coolest day in 20 days, and it was 20 degrees below the record high of 1998, from 1987, back when Ronald Reagan was in the White House, a long time ago. But here's where the month stands. We've had only 3 above normal days, 24 below normal days, and we had a string of 79s. I thought we were going to make some kind of a weird record if we kept it on, but we hit 80 on that first Wednesday, and then it was 77 on Thursday. So really, it's been since the 7th of August since we've been this cool, and it looks like we're going to have a little bit more warmth tomorrow. But I wanted to put this in perspective for you because data goes back to 1874. So put this into thought here. 0 days. How many times has Norfolk had no 90-degree days in August? There's only 1 year. It's back when Calvin Coolidge was in the White House. It was 1927. That's the least ever. We've had 1 day 7 times as recently as 2014, but because we've had 2, count them 2 90-degree days, 2025 will go into an elite category where if you add these up, right, we had 1, 7 here, 6 here, so really 14 years where it's been 2 or less. Out of 151 years of record keeping. That's pretty remarkable. It's like 9%. It's really not often that you have this few of a 90-degree period in the month of August. It's just not what typically one might expect. Speaking of expect, you kind of expect 9 days in August at 90. We only had 2. Right? We had 12 in July, we had 12 in June, but the humidity was really what stole the show. And we had, of course, 2 in May and 1 in April. So all told, if you add all this up, we're still looking at about 29 days in total when we average about 36. So we actually escaped 1 full week, 7 days where we didn't get 90 or higher. If you got a comment, let me know. I want to say hi to you. Kim is very happy. I think she's really happy. She says it's awesome weather. Kim, I agree. I would feel like it's a shame if you don't get out and enjoy it, because you know what's going on this weekend? We got the Virginia Zoo. It's called Zoo Grooves. It's the 90s countries theme. So if you go to Virginia Beach, Virginia Zoo, you can check out the Zoo Grooves. There's also the Cousins Festival. If you like Little Kim, you like some great music, you can check that out. Also, what else? Oh, we got Beer Fest. All kinds of, like 80 brews, mostly local, and barbecue at Busch Gardens. So if you've been to Busch Gardens, I know my Tennessee fans like Dollywood. Well, you come here, you could go to Busch Gardens in the Williamsburg area, and you can have great fun as well. So if you stay inside, well, that's on you. And I don't want you to spend the whole time this weekend inside because the weather is going to be extremely comfortable. That's why I said the comfort level continues to increase. All right, let's go back. Let me show you the latest map from the Climate Prediction Center. It doesn't show multiple shades of blue anymore, at least locally, but it does cover most of the Great Lakes. So you're looking at Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan as some of the cooler spots for September 4th to the 10th. Now, does that mean we're back to normal potentially here? Maybe. But normal is like in the low 80s by the time we get to September 4th to 10th, and it really isn't that bad. So some of the best summer days might still be ahead of us rather than behind us. As far as rainfall, we picked up 1.6 inches of rain. That's not a lot given the fact that this is just 1 point in the on the map. Some of you have had flash flooding this month, so that might not be representative of where you are. But if you live near Norfolk International, you might have had less than 2 inches of rain so far this month. All right, time for some trivia questions. This way I know if you're watching and you're engaged. I want to see if you like this question. Let's come back. What is the latest in the year that Norfolk has 100 degrees. I'm going to give a shout out to senior meteorologist Miles Henderson, because he's been here 15 years. He puts a lot of these cool trivia questions together during our noon show. If you haven't watched our noon show, check it out. It's right after Price is Right. You might be drawn to that. But I can tell you it's either August, September, or October. What is the latest in the year that Norfolk has hit 100 degrees? I'll give you some time. Put your answers on the board. Let me know if you're watching. I could say hi to you. I'll give you a shout out. I got Kim saying she's really loving this weather. She says, I'm really loving this weather. I am too. I think it's pretty sweet. Denmark also likes it. He says, let's keep this the rest of the year. He's loving the weather. Very cool and not as humid as other times of the year for sure. But if you're on the call, let me know what's the latest in the year. Final call, last call, because I don't want to leave anybody hanging here. We'll take this off. The answer is actually September. It's going back to 1895. That's back when Grover Cleveland was in the White House the second time around. That's a long. I mean, think about that. Can you imagine hitting 100 in Norfolk on September 23rd? That seems like a foreign concept, especially when I'm going to show you how cool it's going to get on the first half of September, when I show you the 10-day outlook here in just moments. But this is the satellite radar picture. I want to show you what's going on nationally. If you're in the military and you are concerned about the heat, humidity, maybe you're homesick, want to know what's going on. I see Northern California has one little orange area that would represent a severe thunderstorm in Northern California. Specifically, it looks like one area severe thunderstorm until 5:15 Pacific time. This is just northeast of Tenet, California, southeast of Mount Hebron, and then we've got some wet weather extending down into Nevada and back toward Lovelock and Reno. Also some scattered storms around Salt Lake City and mostly out west. There's also some wet weather sliding into Arkansas. If you have family over there, nothing severe here, but boy, it dries out exponentially across the mid-Atlantic. You go up toward New England, there's a few showers that are leaving LL Bean territory up there in Maine. Not much to see elsewhere at this hour. Low temperatures today happened at 3:52 this morning. It was 64 in Norfolk. That was the actual low. We hit 78. I've covered that. That occurred at 4:50 p.m. Not even quite 5 p.m., but 4:50, we hit 78 Norfolk. It was 78 in Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, and Hampton, and 79 in Suffolk today. Now my question to you, with the dew point hovering, last check, I believe it was like 52. It was 51 most of the day. It actually has come up to 54. But if it's less than 55, is that very nice, super nice, or a slice of nice? I'll let you decide, because our 2 points have come way down from the 70s, mid-70s, just a few days ago. Dew points right now are in the 50s and 40s. I'm looking at Hampton at 45. It's 56 in Kitty Hawk. It feels great. In fact, it's even less humid now compared to yesterday, and yesterday was a big reprieve. We got a big break yesterday, and imagining now it's even less humid now. That's hard to imagine, given the fact it's really feeling nice. It's 14 degrees less humid in Hampton right now than it was this time last night. And those are some amazing, because we dropped in a big way about 3 or 4 in the morning yesterday morning. So taking this full, these are the dew point temperature changes over the last 24 hours. Now, is it going to stay this low? No, it's not. It's not going to stay this low permanently, but we should have a bounce back up into the mid-60s by Saturday and Sunday. And you can clearly see by the legend here, most of that is going to put us back into the humid territory, maybe on the upper end of pleasant. It really isn't going to be bad, especially for this time of year. Got some other notes. Gina, she did guess October. So I can't say that it was totally wrong, but it was technically September. But thank you, Gina, for playing. I didn't get your comment fast enough. I see Kim's. She might have put that after I put it out there, but I'm just being sarcastic. I know it's. I appreciate you guys watching, and I just want to give you some content that can be of meaningful, some value to you at this time. Now, I will say this: when you see dew points in the mid to upper 30s, like you see right here, these are the brown areas from Columbus back toward Beckley. This is like Oktoberfest time, right? I mean, this is more like winter in some ways, or if at the very least late September, where you start to see these dew points drop. The water vapor is dried up in many of these areas across Ohio, eastern Kentucky, Lexington, Charleston, Huntington, and back toward Portsmouth, Ohio, and Columbus, where it's very, very dry. Even 52 in Virginia Beach would be beyond very nice. I'd say it's a slice of nice, where it's about about 10 degrees more humid, however, in Hatteras, and 61 Myrtle Beach. They're also in the low 60s. Temperature right now, 69 in Richmond. I want to say hi to all my friends in East Tennessee. It's 72 in Knoxville, and it's 73, very comparable there in Virginia Beach. I was in Knoxville for 15 years. I've been here just about 6 months, so I'm very happy. And we see a temperature drop here at 8 o'clock now, 68 in Virginia Beach, so the temperatures are dropping as I speak. Look at all the green on this screen. What do you notice here? I mean, it's clear, at least it is to me, when you see the coloring of green. That's the cooler air that's been trying to drop down from areas in Canada and beyond. But we're going to show you this interesting outlook. As far as what we're seeing in the coming weeks, while the coolness may shift a bit to the upper plain states, we're still going to have some very comfortable and I would say delightful weather to look forward to. But look at these cool colors. This takes us through August 30th, August 31st, September 1st, which is Labor Day. Now look at the blue. That's cold enough for snow. It gets all the way down into Wisconsin, into Minnesota. I mean, these are some cool colors going right through September 6th. So if you're looking for some real hot weather, I got news for you. That ship has sailed. We're not going to be warming up super hot. In fact, I think we're going to go right into a little bit of fall. Now, we could obviously warm back up in October. There is always an ebb and flow, but because it was so hot and humid in June and July, this could be Mother Nature's way of just flipping the coin, because we've had a very, very cool August, about 2.8 degrees below normal for August thus far, last I checked. So we've got some cool weather on the menu. Some would say bring it on. Some would say I'm ready for a change of season. Anyway, might as well take it. All right, temperature trend. Starting tomorrow, because the normal high is 86 today. Starting tomorrow, it's actually 85. So the closest we get will be Friday. I'll call that a bit warmer. It's not really warmer, but it's a bit warmer, closer to average. But the weekend, which is very important for those who are making plans for Labor Day, the unofficial end of summer, will be in the upper to mid 70s for all 3 days. So pretty sweet, something to look forward to, no doubt. I do have about a 30% chance of rain on Saturday, but I did put the moniker that this is mainly North Carolina, only because of the location of the coastal low. It might, in fact, throw back some more rain for the Tar Heel State. I don't think it's a washout even there, but we'll keep an eye on this, especially if it's slower to arrive. If it's slower to develop, we may get most of the rain on Tuesday and Wednesday. And boy, that would be a win-win if we get most of the rain on Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, and we after the holiday. I think that would be the best outcome for outdoor events. It's just what I'm throwing out there. But again, it's all going to get hung up perhaps off the Florida Peninsula before it emerges off the coast of South Carolina and eventually North Carolina. So let me show you what that looks like. This is the Labor Day weekend. I want to show you, as I'm going to move this forward in time, there's a low that's going to be opening up into the Gulf, and how long it gets stuck over the Florida Peninsula will be key. So if you look at this map and you say, okay, there's a low here, it's going to have to bring in some, as winds rotate counterclockwise, it's going to bring back some rain maybe for Wrightsville Beach, Wilmington, the Outer Banks, and could very well work its way up toward the Virginia-North Carolina state line. So having said that, I left a 30% chance of rain on Saturday, but I think it could get its act together. I left a 20% chance now Monday, and then a 30% chance on Tuesday as it begins to lift to the north and to the east. Time for your Eastern Shore Virginia forecast. We're looking at Onancock, 78 tomorrow, 79 for Saxus, Bloxham, Chincoteague about 78, Exmoor and Cape Charles around 78 degrees, and about a 10% chance of some spotty rain and a really stray shower. I really want to de-emphasize that outcome. 78 for Kill Devil Hills, 77 for Nags Head Manio, about 76 for our friends in Duck. Rodanthe, Hatteras, upper 70s, about 77 for Ocracoke during the day tomorrow. Storm Prediction Center, we show you these colors not to burden you with all the information, but just to highlight that some areas could include isolated or scattered, depending on where in the threat of severe weather will persist. Really, there's just isolated patches in green tonight through daybreak tomorrow. That would be east of Denver and east of Pueblo, Colorado. Maybe parts of Kansas as well. Looks like areas in southern Minnesota, just south of Wilmer, could have some isolated severe storms there in Minnesota. But coming back home, really, there's not much to talk about. Pretty quiet across the rest of the country. And then on Thursday, that's tomorrow, if we have a hot spot, it could be right along Wichita Falls and Texarkana and just south of Oklahoma City. They could get an isolated severe storm from the lens of our friends at the Storm Prediction Center. Friday is really no different. We're not kind of in the swing of severe weather season, but there are some possibilities around Pueblo, Colorado, maybe North Texas, back toward Lufkin, Texas, and Lake Charles, Louisiana, or Alexandria, where they could have some isolated severe storms. So let me get you through tonight. This is where things are going to change in a way, because this takes us through 9. I'm going to move this forward to 11. So 11 o'clock, if I said it's going to be mostly clear, you say, yeah, tell me something I don't know. Okay, this is probably what you don't know. When you put your head on the pillow, there'll be a whole big cloud deck that rolls right in. Are you ready? Boom. I think it's coming in. It should come in. Maybe there it is. Boom. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, it could look a little partly cloudy, maybe mostly cloudy if you're in Elizabeth City. But I'm just trying to highlight the clouds will be rolling in first thing in the morning. Mostly clear tonight, more high clouds overnight. And then once we get past maybe 8 or 9, most of it clears out and it's bright and sunny again. Maybe a spot shower, as you can see some of it's off the shore, but maybe up towards Chincoteague there may be a drop of rain. It's really not a big deal. We had some rain today around Rodanthe, Ocracoke, and Hatteras, but it was short-lived. Also maybe a spot shower here just west of Franklin, possibly around Southampton. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But still, all that said, or even Sussex County, there could be a spot of rain. Once we move into about, say, 7 a.m. Friday, it's bright and sunny. Midday, pretty quiet, and then you can see it finishes out nice and sunny. Maybe another spot of rain. This is what time? 11 o'clock on Friday night, maybe another spot of rain along the eastern shore, not to be ruled out. So tomorrow morning, we're in the 50s and 60s. It's another slice of nice. If you don't get outside, maybe you like to walk your dogs early in the morning, I think you'll be pleased, because Franklin, you're down to 53. I mean, Wakefield, 55. I can't drive 55, but my temperature is 55. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that bait. 59 Williamsburg, and about 65 for around Cape Charles. Now, lows around Norfolk, about 62. 59 in Chesapeake, 56 for Gatesville, and if you're in Murfreesboro, about 53 degrees. Tomorrow afternoon, another slice of nice, because we're only cracking 81. Normal high is 85, so we're about 4 degrees below average, and we'll struggle to get to 81, not only in Portsmouth, Suffolk, and Franklin, but also in Elizabeth City, Edenton, and Ahoskie, while Virginia Beach will struggle to get to 79 tomorrow. So we're looking for high temperatures, generally upper 70s as a general rule, low 80s at best. About Corral, however, about 76 degrees. All right, here's your first warning, WTKR News 3 7-day forecast. So 84 is the warm day in quotation marks. 79 Saturday, mainly North Carolina for the chance of rain. And then spotty rain Sunday, Monday. If this little low gets its act together, we could be tracking it Tuesday into Wednesday, but hopefully by then you have already had your fill of the last official or unofficial end of summer with the Labor Day holiday. Temperatures only in the mid-70s. Pretty nice looking ahead to Monday. By the way, I wanted to show you some cool happy shots from our WTKR photographers group. Craig had this to share with us, some waves out in Hampton at Fort Monroe crashing. The fact that this picture is still, but it looks like there's a lot of texture to this picture. I loved it. Wanted to share that with you from Craig. This is from our friend, Mr. Wynn. Wanted to share this from Virginia Beach. Surf's up. Surfers were having a field day when we had Hurricane Aaron off the coast. Some of that might have been taken at that time, but love this picture. And then Mike from Chesapeake Bay captured this beauty as well with some sun reflecting off the clouds. Love this as well. So there's so much beauty here. You don't need me to tell you that, especially if you've been here your whole life. Most of these pictures I share with you are just pictures people taking out their backyard or in their neck of the woods. So if you've got some great photos, join us on the WTKR Photographers Facebook group. That's where most of these continue to live. Sometimes people will email me pictures directly. But here we take a look at this picture again. This is your 7-day forecast, your first morning WTKR forecast. Did I mention they were participating in free pizza? This is going on tomorrow, my friend. This is why I love Thursdays. Why do you love Thursday? Well, you have to participate this website to get the free pizza. If you go to our webpage, WTKR.com/Marcos, and these 5, soon to be 6, these 5 locations, soon to be 6, this opens, I believe, up in September, near the Great Bridge Middle School, is the one on South Battlefield Boulevard. All of this to say, this is your chance to win some free pizza tomorrow, because we're making that announcement. It's not too late. If you've registered once before, you don't have to register again. The certificate looks like this. This is what we're going to be giving away, is 1 large, 1 topping pizza for free for a year. So you'll be able to mark 1 in September, because that's fastly approaching, then 1 for October. You'll still get 12 months. but use it like a punch card, and that way you'll be, if you win, we'll be mailing this certificate to you. I also want to be mentioning to you the $7.99 lunch combo. I did this today like a goofball. I put in my one topping pizza, and then I hit the promo code, and it didn't recognize me because I didn't put the drink. So you got to put both in. Put the small topping if that's what you want. Maybe you want the pizza bowl, but make sure you add the drink and then add the promo code, which is WTKR lunch. I was in such a hurry. But if you want a Pozzoli, and you're not even sure what that looks like, may I suggest the Pozzoli is awesome too. That's here on the left. And it's also my favorite lunch item is the pepperoni and sausage. It's like a calzone or a stromboli. So if you're hungry, you're going to have a big savings. I mean, I don't know too many people can get through a drive-through for less than $8 before tax. So I think it's a fantastic offer. You can choose maybe a 6-inch sub, and you could do one different one tomorrow. Maybe a pizza bowl tomorrow. You have this right through Saturday. It is the deal of the week, and I want to say a special thanks to Marco's because they're always giving back. They're giving back in a big way tomorrow because we're giving away free pizza for a year, and we'll also be giving away, are you ready for this? We're going to be giving away free pizza, like 10 individual pies. So we're going to be giving away, you get a pizza, you get a pizza, you get a pizza. 10 people will get individual pies, but then there's one big grand prize winner for the week. That's the pizza for the year, and we'll be announcing that person tomorrow at this time. It is now 8:10. I've gone on long enough, but I'm very happy about the Marco's giveaway. It's fun, makes it like a weather party, a pizza party for sure. But I'm also very thankful for your engagement. If there's any comments, I'll want to say hi to you. Nancy says hello. She says woohoo. Woohoo is right? I don't know if you're woohooing about those great pictures I shared or the free pizza, but hopefully, Nancy, you're in the pipeline because our sales team randomly selects the winners, and I get that notification so I can get it in the computer for tomorrow. So it's not too late. Go ahead and register, WTKR.com/Marcos. Other notes, I want to say hi to Gina and Kim and Denmark. Thank you for all participating. This has been a lot of fun. I believe we also have, who else? Oh, I know what you have. One of the other things, I have this article. This is a cool article. Yep, there it is. It covers my face. I got to go over here just to see it. So, yeah, I posted this, WTKR.com. There's a complete weather forecast. So if you didn't want to have to watch all 30, 40 minutes of this, you could just get it in slide form. It's really convenient. You go to our webpage. It's always there. Thankful for our friends at WTKR for posting this because I was putting in all the ingredients, and now it's published online for your convenience. Anyway, just remember, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It kind of does now because it's nice, but it really doesn't matter if the weather is sunny or if it's serious or if there's a hurricane 200 miles off the coast. It doesn't matter if that's happening or something else is happening. Just know that every day is a gift. Every day is a gift. So make the most of it in your neighborhood, and we'll see you here tomorrow with some free pizza. Take care.